this video, I will be going over this towel pattern and how to recreate it. Our drawing here shows us that we're going to be using a certain command that is called that rectangular array command. This rectangular array command, remember, helps you to duplicate an object or a pattern without having to use other commands such as copy. It also allows you to just draw through, get through your drawing a lot faster. Before we can even use the command, we need to create the octagon pattern or shape that we see on our screen here. Now you can create this pattern one or two ways. You can use your line command, or you can be a little bit faster and use your rectangular command, which is the command that I'm going to choose to use. Because I see overall it does have a rectangular shape, but then it has these, as we would call, slashes that are about 1/4 of an inch at 45-degree angles on all four corners if this was a complete square. 1 inch vertical and 1 inch horizontal. So I'm going to go ahead and use that rectangle command and pick a spot on my drawing screen, and my length is going to be 1 inch and my width would be 1 inch as well. When I do that, I create my rectangle. Now from here, you can choose to either leave it as is, or you can select it and explode it to separate it. So that way you can go ahead and use your chamfer command so that we can go ahead and put those angles on all four corners. In choosing my chamfer command, we know that our angle is listed at 45 degrees. So I'm going to type in an A for angle. The size or the length of my line says that it is 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just typing in 1/4 of an inch. My angle is at 45. Pressing enter, and it's asking me to choose my first line. We're just going to make our way around our rectangle with just repeating the command. The angle and the length will all stay the same. .45, and choose my first and my second line. Right click to just go ahead and repeat chamfer. Choose your angle again. The length is the same. Typing in the same length of the line. Remember that angle is 45 every time. And what I'm doing here is just going ahead and taking it slow and just repeating that command for the purposes of the video. Once you have went around all four sides, and this is the slower way to do it, you can have your shape that duplicates what we have in our instructions here. Now, we can multiply this numerous of times. We can go ahead and copy this, or we can offset this as well. But instead of going through all of those commands, we can just simply jump right into the rectangular array command. And what you would do is go ahead and select your object. Go to your rectangular array command, left click it, and as you can see, it populates and duplicates on your screen immediately. Now our instruction tells us that rectangular array with spacing set to 1 1/16 of an inch for both of our columns and rows. Looking at the top of my screen, this is where we place our columns and rows. We can see that it does give us the 4, which is the default of our columns. And then for the rows, it only gives us 3. But if we're duplicating what is found here, we can change our rows to 4 as well, because we can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So I'm just going to make this change up top to 4, press enter, and now scrolling in and out of my drawing, I have 4 columns and 4 rows. But now we need to get that spacing down. So we said that our spacing is 1 1/16 of an inch for both the columns and rows. So this here, where it says between, is that spacing. So we're just going to type in 1 1/16 of an inch, press enter, and notice that our rows move out, there we go, came closer, but now, or our columns are closer, and now we need our rows to be closer. So we're going to go in here and manually type in that change, 1 1/16 of an inch, pressing enter, and see how the drawing automatically jumped to what it needs to be. Once you are all complete, you can go ahead and press right click and then enter, or tap enter to come out of the command, and you have your finished product. Now that we have this tile pattern drawn, I want to show you another way that you can achieve this pattern. And notice the difference. I'm just going to move this out of the way here. Notice the steps, but also notice how long it's going to take to create. We can still do it fast in the beginning, but repeating these patterns can be a little tedious without using that rectangular array command. Again, I'm going to select my rectangle, pick a point, and I'm going to type in that dimension, 1 inch for the length and then 1 inch for the width. So I have that rectangular shape to get me going, and I can go ahead and jump immediately without even exploding this and breaking it up. I can jump immediately to my chamfer so that I can put those angles on. My angle is still the same. The length is 1/4 inch, and that angle line is 45. Pressing enter, and I can make my way around my entire drawing. Again, I'm just staying in that command by pressing enter to come back into it, keeping my length and my angle the same. And now voila, I have my shape yet again. Again, as I was mentioning earlier, you can go ahead and use your copy. Select your object, press enter, and it's telling me to specify the base point or the displacement. Well, we know our displacement, we're going to type in D and put in that measurement at 1 1/16 of an inch. Now here I just dropped it on the side of it. Let me go back and undo. I want to go ahead and make sure my ortho is turned on again so that it does place it vertical or horizontally. I selected my objects. I'm going to type in D for displacement. Type in that measurement, 1 1/16 of an inch. Press enter. And as you can see, it's beginning to add it on. Then I can repeat it by selecting my objects again. D for displacement. The distance is the same, and it's going to constantly add it. So going through here, we're just adding it one by one. But when we used that rectangular array command, I'll use it for this one here again. When we used it, it just jumped right into it. It gave us some to get started. If we want to have more columns, we add more columns. If we wanted to have less rows, then we subtract rows right here at the top. And then we go ahead and put in whatever that spacing is. to achieve what we're going for or looking for. Remember that when you have your rectangular array command open, you can manually put your columns in, or you can use your blue grippers to grab and duplicate them as needed in your space or on your screen. I really hope this video helps you to understand how to use your rectangular array command. This is very extremely helpful if you had things such as mosaic tile or a backsplash in the kitchen or in a bathroom, and you don't want to constantly draw all of these shapes multiple times. You can just draw it one time. Use that rectangular array command to duplicate it, expand it by using your grippers or your arrows to stretch it out. Please remember to subscribe or like the video and watch it as many times as you need to really get some practice using that rectangular array command.